Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's NinjaTrader Ecosystem event, Appointment-Based Trading. My name is Thomas, and I'm a platform representative here at NinjaTrader. Now, before we start the webinar, I have a few housekeeping notes. Now, this webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the NinjaTrader brokerage team using the phone number or email on the screen. And if you are new to NinjaTrader, please make sure you sign up for a free NinjaTrader account, which includes access to 14 days of complimentary real-time market data. Our platform is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. You can create your free account by following the link on the screen and then clicking the Get Started under the Welcome section. And before I turn over the mic to Leigh, isn't it important to understand that futures, foreign currency, and options trading contain substantial risk and is not suitable for every investor. It is possible to lose all or more than one's initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performances is not necessarily indicative of future results. For more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure, please visit the link I'll be posting into the room. And please remember that these training sessions are not solicitation or recommendation, but simply educational in nature. Now, thank you again for joining us today. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Leigh into the NinjaTrader webinar room.
Thank you, everybody, for joining, and I want to thank Thomas and everybody at NinjaTrader for being so nice and inviting me here. My name is Leigh Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. I want to show you who I am just for a moment. I'm not going to keep my screen on the whole time, but I just want you to see that's me. I'm a real person. And it's important that you realize I'm a real person, because a lot of times we all go to these webinars and you wonder why you should even listen to the people that are speaking and giving you advice. And being a real person is part of the whole deal. The whole fact that I'm just like you, I started as a beginner. You might be advanced now, you might be intermediate, might be somewhere in the middle, but we all start somewhere. We all start as beginning traders. And the key is to understand that it's a process that we all go through and we all learn and become more and more skilled at trading. And it's a great skill to have. And my goal today is I'm going to show you how to find dozens and dozens of trades so that you could add all these setups, all different ways to trade going forward. And you can have a skill that you never had before. So that is my goal. And like Thomas said, don't risk money that you can't afford to lose. Trading can be risky. But the beauty of trading is that it can be a very successful enterprise as well if you learn to do it right. So here at 10-Minute Trades, we trade using a system called appointment-based trading. We use the NinjaTrader platform, and we trade futures. So when I mention that we're trading stock earnings, we're actually using the futures to trade those earnings. So keep that in mind. Everything that we do, we trade using futures. And what's the most important thing is we are trading a system called appointment-based trading. We make an appointment with the market. And what that means is we have a system. We don't have to sit in front of our computer all day long, sitting and watching the charts. We create a schedule, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how we create our schedule, how we have a complete working system. We have software. We have a trade room. We have 4 elements that make up our trading methodology. And those 4 elements are really very, very easy to understand. Element number 1 is we call it the weekly market movers, the WMM. That's element number 1. That's our weekly schedule. We create a weekly schedule every Sunday. We send it to all our members. And in fact, it's free. Anybody can have it just by going to our website, 10minutetrades.com, and you can sign in for our free video, how to find 10-minute trades, and we'll send you our weekly schedule. And you might think to yourself, well, you know what? I don't really need anybody's weekly schedule. It's not going to do me any good. But it's actually the opposite. Knowing what's going on in the market, knowing the schedule of when important events are taking place can be really important. What if you're trading oil and you're not aware that every Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern time, the oil report comes out? You could get blown out of an oil trade because you didn't know there was an important report that was going to affect the price of oil, the oil futures. So having a weekly schedule, even if you don't trade the way that we trade, can be very, very useful. So feel free to sign up for our weekly schedule because we love sending it to everybody. And I can see your questions, so feel free to ask questions, and I'll answer some while I'm doing the presentation, and some of the questions I'll save for the end. So Hans is asking, which futures are we trading? So all different events, each event requires different futures. Sometimes an event might require the S&P futures or the NASDAQ futures or the YM. It depends on the event, because remember what I said that we do. We make an appointment with the market and we trade by appointment. So then you're thinking to yourself, well, what does that really mean? It means that we're trading news. We're trading fast-moving events, and we're taking advantage of the volatility that those news events create. And then I know what you're thinking is, oh, I was told never trade the news. It's not safe to trade the news. You'll just ruin your account by trading the news. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. All trading has risk, but all trading has methods in which you can reduce your risk by using the right tools. And trading news is no different than trading any other type of trade. You just have to use the right tools. So that's where we get back to the system and our 4 elements. So the first element is the weekly market mover. Our second element are the daily market movers. Once we get a schedule, we shrink the schedule down to the individual event, and we actually create a trade report for a specific event. And I'll show you trade reports because they show you actually the way that we're going to trade a specific event. Everything that we do takes place in our trade room. So of course, having our trade room access helps us to explain the system, show you the way the software works, talk about the current market, make sure it's safe to trade. Sometimes the markets can be so volatile, maybe you don't want to trade that day. It happens. Or you might want to shrink your risk by trading micros rather than full-size instruments. But it's very important to have somewhere to go, people to speak with, people to share with, and to be part of a community. And this goes, I believe, for any trading system that you want to be a part of. Having people to talk to and go over the systems is really important. And then our 4th element would be our software. We're in the process of renaming our software because JOBB version 11 is a little bit boring, and we're getting ready to rename our software something more exciting. But the name is not what's important. It's the way that it functions. It allows us to trade fast-moving events in the safest way possible. And that's what we're always working towards, being as safe as possible, because like we say, there's risk in trading. So our first element is the weekly market mover, okay? This is a sample of what the weekly market mover looks like. And if you notice, it's got a trigger time on the left. That's the time of the event that we're going to be trading. It shows our members when our trade room opens. So if you look at this particular schedule, it was December, a recent schedule. We had an 8 o'clock trade in the trade room on Monday. an event called Empire State Manufacturing. We were trading the flash manufacturing that same day. So you can see, you can get a feel for how many events we might trade in an average week. It might be anywhere between 10 and 15 events on the average week. And then we also let our members know, is it an event that has a trade report? Not every single event that we trade has a DMM, a daily market mover, a trade report. Some of our trades are what we call trade room trades. They're events that we just discuss in the trade room, and we'll trade them based on market conditions. But the WMM is our main schedule. It's the first element in the system. And then the second element is the DMM, the daily market mover. So for instance, how do we find our trades? That's the whole big thing that I want to teach you all today. Where do you figure out what events you're going to trade? So if you're an experienced trader, you're probably familiar with some of the calendars that you notice on the market. For instance, I'm looking at a calendar right now called Forex Factory. And Forex Factory, if you just click forexfactory.com, and if you just click on the word calendar, you'll notice that you see all these events that are showing up as you scroll through the calendar. It shows a full week of trades, of events that are taking place in the market, because experienced traders know that these events can be traded around in order to take advantage of volatility. And we'll talk about how these events create volatility and why these events are great to trade. And it's because of the fact that they create volatility. But the first step is you have to figure out where you're going to find these events. So we have a selection of calendars that we look at on a regular basis. We look at forexfactory.com. And Forex Factory, they use a color-coded methodology, whereas if you notice a very red folder, that's a more impactful event than a yellow folder. So if you want to find trades using Forex Factory, you're going to look for the red folders first. Those are going to be the most impactful events using the Forex Factory trades. Second calendar that we use, there's another company, investing.com, another excellent calendar. You go to investing.com, click on tools, and then economic calendar, and then this week. And it gives you a full week schedule of all of the events that they think are the most important. Instead of using colors, they use these little stars. So if it's 3 stars, it's a very impactful event. If it's 1 star, it's less impactful. And then you'll notice also that there's a item called forecast, and then there's another item called actual. And that is the key to everything that we do. When we trade a news event, there's a forecast. Then what happens is the news comes out and the actual item comes out. That number, the difference between the actual news and the forecast, is what creates the volatility in the market. So for instance, if we're looking to trade natural gas, maybe they're forecasting that there's going to be 1,000 cubic feet of natural gas in storage, and there's 2,000 cubic feet. So there's a lot more natural gas in storage. So it would make you think if there's more of something, the price would be lower. If there's less of something, the price would be higher. So let me show you something interesting. I wanted to show you how our software works. So to give you an idea of what I mean by volatility, this is natural gas. And these candles are the actual natural gas futures back in December. What happens with our system is our software brackets the price of natural gas, that orange arrow, is the actual current price at that moment of natural gas. And then what we're doing is we're waiting for the news to come out. Those brackets are actually orders. When the news comes out, watch what happens. The price of natural gas happens to explode up that day because there was less natural gas than expected. It pulled us into the market, and that's the way the system works. When you trade events, the news comes out, the comparison of the forecast to the actual news creates this volatility. It shoots through our orders, fills our orders, puts us in the market. And then if you have a fantastic trade, it'll sell your orders and give you a profit. If the trade doesn't work out, it'll do the opposite. It might stop you out, or it might be a trade that you have to manage. But the point is the volatility, the forecast, and the actual data is what creates all of the volatility, and it's the volatility that we're trading. So if we have these great calendars that we could find and study and get the best events to trade, and that's another very important key. A lot of people ask us the same questions all the time. And the questions they ask us are what's your success rate for trading? But it doesn't work quite that way with the way that we trade, because you wouldn't want to trade every single event just because it's volatile. The idea is to trade the events that are trading and having the best performance. And what we do is filter the best events to trade and teach our members how to understand which are the best events to trade, how to study the markets. And that's the way that you trade events, not necessarily trading every event, but trading the events that over and over are having more success than other events. Good question. Lots of prop trading firms don't allow trading of events. What we're seeing lately, however, is a lot of the prop firms are now allowing news trading. I'm not going to name names of companies because I just didn't check if I was supposed to, as I'm allowed to do that today. But the major companies that most everybody's using out there are now allowing news trading. And trading the way that we trade. So there's always going to be companies that have rules, that have restrictions, whether you trade news or any other system. So it's important if you're trading prop that you just look at the rules, because all the companies are different, but most of them do allow for news trading nowadays, because a lot of our members are using many of the popular prop account companies that we all know and love. So you can trade a cash account, you can trade in your prop account, and you can trade, you can use simulation, of course. And it's really fascinating when you think how trading has changed. When I was younger, you had to only had the availability of trading cash, and a lot of traders, as you were learning, you were always losing money, because in the beginning of trading, it's the rare person that's an expert and does really well. Now with prop accounts, the opportunity is there to learn and use someone else's accounts, not use your own money. You can get started in trading for much less cost than it used to be years ago. So the prop accounts have created a whole method that lots of people can get into trading when you have very little of your own funds to start with. And you can learn for a very small monthly fee, and it's a great way to get involved with trading. And we're also seeing that a lot of people are just trading for, I hate to say it, but they're having fun. They're trading for fun because it's so reasonable to become a member of a prop account. You could trade and just enjoy it to start, do it for fun. And then if you get good at it, then you can take it very seriously. Let me get back into our methods because the time flies here. So we've gone through our 2 elements so far, and we've gone through 2 calendars, forexfactory.com and investing.com, another calendar that we like. So remember, you can find these events by looking at the calendars. and just figuring out the method that they use to choose the most impactful events. Another calendar company that we love for earnings in particular is earningswhispers.com. Great calendar. You just click the word calendar and then whatever date you want to trade, because earnings season, believe it or not, starts next week again. The banks are starting. We will be trading JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley in our trade room. We devised a method to trade earnings using futures, and it's one of the best and most interesting things we do at 10-minute trades. It's been a fantastic way to trade earnings. So instead of using the actual stock price, we're actually using futures, because with futures, you can have less funds available to trade, because with stocks, there's different rules about how much money you have to have in your account, which relates to margin and things of that sort. But to make it simple, with futures, you could trade stock earnings with a lot less funds. And it's a great way to get involved trading stock earnings. So earningswhispers.com, a great calendar. You just click the various days. They have this little control panel that you could click through the control panel and find the various uh, companies that are releasing their earnings and when they're releasing them. This is next week. And like I said, we'll be trading United Health. That brings up another very interesting thing for us. United Health is what we call a family money trade. We have events that trade so well that we would recommend our own families trade their own money. And we gave some of those trades the moniker family money trades. Remember what I said, the key to trading events in the best possible way is by trading the events that perform at the highest quality, events that give you the best opportunity for profit. The best of the best, we call them our family money trades. And that's a selection every week when we come out with our schedule. And I'll show you next week's schedule. I just happened to finish it. On our schedule, we show our members which trades we consider the family money trades. So next week's schedule, we've got next Tuesday, the API is a weekly oil trade. That's been a family money trade for us. So what does that really mean? It means that over time, we've had more winners than losing trades, way more winners. In other words, the API report, we've had 5 winning weeks in a row on that report. It's been winning, and that qualifies as a family money trade. We have an event called the NOPA Crush. Nobody even knows what it is. It's an oil seed trade. That's been a family money trade. It's been doing very well for us. United Health earnings, quarter after quarter after quarter, United Health earnings has been a profitable trade for us. So it qualifies as a family money trade. Some trades, we call them coin tosses, because it's like they're 50-50. It might be a winner, it might not be a winner. That's the reality of trading. But the key for us, find the events that trade the best, and those are the trades you want to spend your most time on. The key to trading the events for us is using our software. Our software has built into it many different trade setups that you can use. You can trade a breakout trade. I showed you that natural gas trade. And one of the main reasons I wanted to show you that natural gas trade is we got started as a company. We've been in business for more than 8 years. And the breakout trade, where we bracket the price and the price explodes, that's called a breakout trade. That's a very, very popular type of trade. And that makes up probably about 60% of our trades nowadays. It used to be 90%, but now we have a lot more different types of trades. You can see that there's this colored zone on this chart here. We have something called range trades. You can create a zone using time, or you can create a zone based on bars. And when you break out of those zones, you can get pulled into a trade. So our software can do that as well. If I right click the chart and click on the word strategy, that brings up our software. And our software has many setups that you could just choose. It's got range trades, breakout trades, reversals, reversal continuation trades, earning trades, all different setups that our software can do. So not only can you trade the news with our software, but if you're just a regular discretionary trader, you can also use our software to trade as a discretionary trader because it's an ATM. An ATM is an automated trade manager, and that means it can help to automate your entries. It puts your targets on the screen. It puts your stops on the screen. It can trail. It can do all of the discretionary things that you would think you'd want to do as a trader. So appointment-based trading, it's a methodology. The idea is to find events to trade, to use the software to help you manage these events. Because think about it, sometimes an event can be very fast moving, and you don't want to be fumbling around seconds before an event is going to release the news. You don't want to be fumbling around trying to get your brackets on the chart. Our software can automate a lot of that bracket entry, and it puts the brackets on the chart automatically for you. That's what helps to reduce risk as well. You can schedule your trades on specific days, specific times, up to a week in advance. Really, you could do it up to a month in advance if you wanted to. But because we create a weekly schedule, we like to say a week in advance. And all trading has risk, but trading news, as I've said, if you use the right tools, you have software that helps to keep you safe, is no riskier than other forms of trading. And then why do we love appointment trading so much? And one of the reasons is, trading can be very boring. You sit there, you're waiting for events to take place. We have discovered over the years that if you spend a ton of time in the market, you're giving the market more opportunity to take your money. The idea is to try to get in and out of the market as quickly as you can. Grab your profit and leave. Most trading, you spend waiting. For us, we don't sit around for hours waiting. We create our schedule. We meet up in the trade room. We take the trade, and then we go back to our life doing other things. Also, we're trading a very different type of methodology. Most traders are trading very subjectively. They're looking very deeply at Elliott wave, candlestick patterns. You've heard all of the terminology, exploding candles, all this, crazy kind of language that you have to learn. You've got to learn Fibonacci's and Ichimoku clouds. Well, we don't have to do nearly all of that deep technical analysis because we're trading events and the way that those events behave. It's completely different. Completely different. Appointment-based trading creates these trigger events on a regular, predictable schedule, and then we get that volatile reaction, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes both. The key is to learn how to handle the moves, to have the right software, to reduce the error as much as possible so that you can manage the trades while they occur. And most of the appointment-based trades are quick. They're over. Most of them are over in less than a minute. But some of our trades, it might take 3, 4, 5 minutes. We have something new called the magnet trade, a whole new strategy that we've recently written, which is a fascinating way to trade. When you think about the charts, all the charts we look at have levels that show up on every single chart that you would ever look at. And a magnet is just a level that pulls price into it. like a high of a day could be a magnet, a Fibonacci that you love could be a magnet, an EMA that you love can be a magnet. Well, we wrote software that lets you trade your exit at those magnets. And that's another great way to trade. Again, it could be quick because you get pulled into the magnet, you hit the magnet, and you're out of the trade. So we love the fact that everything that we do is based around time. Now I've explained for you what triggers these appointment-based trades. There are categories, important categories that actually trigger them. It might be high impact economic reports, like a jobs report tomorrow, for instance. Tomorrow we have the jobs report. NFP, non-farm payrolls, will be in our trade room tomorrow, trading that jobs report, as sure as I'm sitting here teaching this methodology. That's a category. Category number 2 might be big company earnings reports. I explained that earnings season is starting next week. We trade, I would say, about 20 to 30 earnings reports. Definitely the big tech stocks, the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, IBM, and Intel. And then we trade some of the morning trades, the retailers like Home Depot, Target, and companies like that. So big company earnings reports can also create volatility in the market that give us lots of opportunity. And then, of course, there's market opens, the gold open, the market closes are often areas around that people like to trade. Those can create opportunities also. So there are hundreds of these triggers within those categories. So remember, what do I mean when I say the categories? We're talking about looking at Forex Factory, and those trades fit into those 3 categories. Some of the categories might be earnings. Some of them might be a jobs report, but all of those events figure into those categories of trades. And that's how you find your trades, and that's how you design your trades. So these are some of the key calendars that we look at. And one other final calendar I didn't mention is Financial Juice, a calendar that we love. They have something very unique. They show the news like everyone else, but they also have a squawk box. So you can put a headset on and you can listen to them speak the news results. And that's a fantastic feature because while you're trading, you don't want to be distracted. So you can actually listen to the news in your headset rather than looking at a result. Because remember what we said was important. It might help you very much in a trade if you know what the news specifically is, because not only will you see the market go up or down or chop around, but by seeing what the news is, you'll know why it goes in that direction. And knowing what the news result is might help you to decide to stay in a trade longer, to try to go for a bigger profit. That's the key. So being able to hear the news in your headset is a great feature. But these are some of the calendars that we like that help you to find the events that you can trade. Now, all of the calendars have different methods of showing you how important an event is. Some of the calendars use color coding or stars. That's just a question of looking at them. And then the question is, how do you pick the trades? So we obviously use the NinjaTrader platform. One of the reasons the NinjaTrader platform is so great, and I'm not saying that just because I'm here sponsored by NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is one of the few platforms that has a feature called playback or back testing. It's automated, creating the time that already passed. You could create that time again. So you can play back yesterday's date and trade the event that maybe you missed the trade, or maybe you want to practice the trade. More important, you want to test the trade. And that's what we do. We use the ability of NinjaTrader to schedule trades that already took place and to study them and to find the ones that perform the best. So that's a feature in the platform. They call it playback, or a market replay is another very popular way that it's noted. But it's a key feature of the platform that lets us back test our trades and learn all about which are the best performing events. So you can actually trade the trades over and over, and you can design your own trades that way. It's probably, in our opinion, it's the most important feature that the NinjaTrader platform has. And then the key: why did these reports work? Why did that natural gas report move the market so much? And it's because the news has a forecast. When the forecast comes out, it now has a real news value. When you compare those two elements, the forecast and the real news, we call that the offset. If the offset is rather large, that creates volatility. The news creates volatility in the instrument that we're trading, and we take advantage of that volatility by setting up trades around that volatility. Okay? It's really not that complicated. We bracket the trade. There's trades that we study. We know they're going to reverse. So we have setups that take advantage of reversals, where instead of going long when the market goes up, we might go short and we might make our money on the opposite direction. Or we also have the ability in our software to take a trade as a reversal. Lots of news changes direction. We have methods in our software. We could trade the opposite direction that the news makes the market move. Okay. Very, very interesting way to trade by studying events. And you can see why these trades happen very quickly, because the news comes out in a nanosecond, and some trades could be over in a couple of seconds. They're based on these trade triggers that have the highest probability of moving the market. So I'll tell you, the time goes so fast. I want to get into an offer. I'm going through. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them, and I'll answer any question that you have before I go. One question is, are the trades entered by the software, or do you suggest and enter manually? So for us, we enter the trades into the software. We practice and study to come up with the setup. And then in our trade room, we just show our members how to enter the data into the software. It's very, very simple. And it takes maybe a minute, 3 minutes or so to just enter numbers into the software. Remember, our best of the best events, we call them the family money trades. Those are trades that if you're in a cash account, you're trading your cash. If you're in a prop account, you're trading your favorite prop account. Those are our favorites. So the way that it works, we send you the DMM, the daily market mover. It explains the way that we'll trade the event. It shows the event we're trading, the time of day, the market we're trading, the performance of the event, whether it's worth trading. And that's the concept behind what we do. Our DMMs have a risk level, and they have a very set setup, which we discuss in this trade room, because the key to this trade room is the markets are volatile. The markets are always changing. So nothing is in stone. And that's very important. We might have a setup. It might need a bigger stop one day because the market is more volatile that day. So it's very important. We feel that the trade room is critical to what we do because it helps to keep you on top of the existing volatility in the current market. All right. So here's an example of a daily market mover. This was the natural gas storage report. This is a report that comes out every week. The yellow line is actually the way that we bracket the trade. We have a 6-tick bracket. We have a 12-tick stop. We have a journal. it has 6 weeks of how this report's been doing. This was natural gas in December, and in December it was 50-50. Natural gas actually is trading rather well over the past 3 months or so. It's better than a 50-50 trade. And if you can have a lot of 50-50s and better, it's possible to have nice, profitable trades. Trade in a prop account, very important. A lot of people are thinking the prop account don't allow news, but they do. Many of them allow for the trading of news. Okay. I just want to let everybody know about an offer for everybody that's come to the webinar. We want to let everybody have a trial of our whole system, everything that we offer. Let me get to the screen. You get everything that we are involved in: the daily market movers, the weekly schedule, the software, a subscription to the trade room. Everything that we do is available to you. The trap trade is one of our reversal trades. Everything is available in a trial. And let me get to the link. We have sessions in our trade room. We trade earnings with futures. We teach you about the family money trades. We teach you about the earnings trades, the breakouts, magnet trades, range trades, all of the different types of events that I've been talking about. We will go over in our trade room, and you can take advantage of this in the trial. So you'll get everything that makes up our system: our JOBB version 11 software, the magnet trade, the whole appointment-based trading method. We teach you how to choose the events to trade. All of the earnings rooms that we think are the most important earnings are the ones that we schedule. And of course, you're trading on a schedule. If you have another system that you love, you can easily add us to your system because you'll know exactly when to trade. It's just www.gopro25.com. For $20.25, you can spend a month with us. All right, www.gopro25.com. Our member success is our report card. And I could show you screen after screen of very, very nice testimonials that our members made. We don't have enough time today. So for just $20.25, you can www.gopro25.com and spend a month with us. It expires tonight at midnight, so take advantage of our trial. I want to thank everybody for joining with us. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer any of them. So to quickly recap everything that we do, we have a 4-element system. The WMM is our weekly schedule. We shrink the weekly schedule to daily events. Those are the daily market movers, and we create trade reports for many of the events. Then we have our software that helps you set up the trades. And then finally, we have our trade room access where we discuss everything, go over the markets, talk about the current volatility, decide how to take the trade. All of that makes up our system, and you can try it all out, www.gopro25.com. And someone is asking, how much is it after the trial? So our whole system is $97 a month for everything that we do. It's a steal. I mean, 1 or 2 trades, it's possible to easily pay for a trading system. You know, we don't like to talk about money. We like to talk about learning and being successful, but it's very, very reasonable to be a member. And I want to thank our friends at NinjaTrader. I hope I didn't go over my allotted time. And I want to thank everybody for joining. Today, it was a pleasure to explain our system. And you can also get more info, just help@10minutetrades.com. You can email us at help@10minutetrades.com if you need extra information on the system. So Thomas, thank you very much for having us here at NinjaTrader, and I'm looking forward to coming back again soon in the future. Now, I see a quick question. Do you get step-by-step instructions in the trial? Absolutely. What we do in our trade room over and over, we're going over the same steps continually. So as time goes by, you become knowledgeable and more expert with using the system. So yes, we do go over everything step by step. Beginners or advanced traders would be absolutely welcome to take the system trial.
All right. Well, thank you again to Leigh for taking the time to share with us today. Everyone in attendance today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so keep an eye out for that email. If you enjoyed today's session, we hope you will join us at future webinars. Follow us on social media for alerts about upcoming events and NinjaTrader ecosystem news. We would like to remind you that the information provided was that of 10-minute trades and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem.